We don't need another AI image generator. However, I'm totally here for any AI fashion tools that actually address designers' pain points. And probably our biggest pain point, tech packs. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Mikkel Drew Pelham. I am a digital fashion specialist teaching digital fashion design and communication through my company, 383 Design Studio, as well as various other universities, including the Fashion Institute of Technology. I talk about digital fashion software, design communication, and fashion entrepreneurship on this channel. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. So I have been waiting for more useful AI fashion tools, ones that address what designers actually do to get physical product made, and something that really helps designers get through a lot of the non-creative work that we have to do so we can free up more time for the creative work we want to do. And tech packs are always at the top of the list of designer pain points. So I was excited when Benjamin from AI TechPacks reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in seeing a demo of the product. I couldn't reply yes fast enough. Now, listen, this is not a tool that's going to just miraculously do your entire tech pack. I don't know if any tool will. You'll still need to make some updates and some tweaks, but this will probably get you at least 70% of the way there. So if you're spending a lot of time doing tech packs now, this tool should make a significant difference in how long you're spending on them. Before I go any further, I want to mention that AI TechPacks is the sponsor of today's video. AI TechPacks is an AI-enabled tool that will allow you to generate professional tech packs in seconds, reducing errors and streamlining your fashion design workflow. So let's do a demo of the tool, and then I'll give you my thoughts on what I like, what may be a bit challenging, and my overall assessment. Currently, there are 3 ways for you to generate a tech pack: using a reference image, creating custom measurements, and using their flat sketch library. And there are recommendations for who should use each option, as well as the pros and cons of each, which is really great if you're a little unsure about which method might be best for your current project. I'm going to just talk about the first 2 and then demo the third, because that's the most accurate and the one I recommend you use. The first method is reference images, which will generate a tech pack based on a photo. Now, it's pretty accurate with one exception: the flat sketch. The flat sketch that's added to the tech pack is pulled from their flat sketch library, which means it just finds the closest matching sketch, which ultimately means it won't be an exact match. With the flat sketch library method, you're choosing something from the existing flat sketch database. These are kind of like blanks that you can attribute with your logo or graphic. Now, option 3 allows for the most customization, and it's the most accurate when it generates a flat sketch from an image. It also allows you to add your own flat sketch, which is what I'm most interested in. I'm going to show you how to do this using a photo of a garment and using your own sketch, and I'm going to start with my sketch. To bypass the flat sketch generator, scroll down to Skip AI Detection Manual Mode. Upload your front and back views. Add measurement callouts. And then choose Generate Tech Pack. To start with a photo, upload an image of at least the front view. I'm going to use the same image I used in the first method. Add fabric information if you desire, and then click Generate AI Flat Sketch. So here's the sketch, and it's pretty accurate. I'm not mad at this. It's also started to add the measurement callouts, which is great. And all of the callouts are editable. So if there's something that's not quite accurate, maybe a line needs to be moved or extended, or if you need to add a callout, you can do that here. Also, something that was recently added, if you have a pro subscription, you can also download a vector file of your sketch. Okay, let's generate the tech pack. Okay, tech pack is generated. It took about 2 minutes. Once it finishes, the full tech pack will be at the bottom of the page. And if you scroll through the pages, you'll see that a significant portion of the tech pack is complete. Now, you'll need to scroll back to the top and fill in or update any missing tech pack data. Within the TechPack data, you have several sections: product information, company information, order sheet, product summary and notes, flat sketch and sample size measurement specs, measurements, bill of materials, artwork, cost sheet, placement guide, and color information. And within each section, you can add or revise the information for your product. Be sure to click the green button at the top of each section to save your changes. And if you scroll back to the bottom, you'll notice that the TechPack updates in real time. There's a lot of information here, but I just want to highlight a few key sections. I'm going to skip to the sample size measurements and specs because I'm curious to see just how accurate the AI is. Now, I don't have the actual measurements for this garment, but I've been doing this for a long time. So I'm familiar with what the specs would normally be for a style like this. So let's get into it. Let's start with the hem height. The AI specified 6 centimeters, which is about 2 3/8. That's pretty accurate. Collar height is listed as 4 centimeters, which is about 1 5/8. That looks more like 2 inches to me, but it's close. Zipper is listed at 20 centimeters, which is about 7 7/8. Definitely makes sense. Let's take one more. Let's do total body length. AI specifies 65 centimeters, which is about 25 5/8. That's a little long, but not by much. I'm thinking more 24.5, which is about 62 centimeters. Now let's get into the measurements section. So this is where you'd be creating your graded spec and adding your grade rules. This is auto-grading all of your sizes based on your grading increments. So for instance, the grade increment for the bust width is 2 centimeters, which is about 7/8 of an inch. So it auto-calculates for the sample size, which is the medium. It makes the small 2 centimeters smaller than the medium, the extra small 2 centimeters smaller than the small, and so on. And for large, it'll make the measurement 2 centimeters larger than the medium, and so on through extra, extra large. And as with most things, it's all editable, so you could update the grade increment as well as the tolerance and description. Now, you will want to have a bit of knowledge about how things should grade, but overall, I think this is a huge win here. Specs and grading usually give a lot of designers I work with some trouble. So I think this feature will definitely be an asset. The bill of materials tends to be the next most challenging part of a tech pack. So something I appreciate about AI TechPacks is that it starts the BOM for you. Now again, go through this because there could be something on the inside of the garment that the AI misses. It shows you a brief summary of what the tool observed to come up with the current items in the bill of materials, and the majority are things observed based on the outside of the garment. However, sometimes people add branded neck tapes, elastane in the shoulders. On outerwear, there are often hidden pockets or cord locks inside the garment, so just be mindful that what's added here is usually a great start, but it may not be everything. Also, I would definitely suggest being a bit more descriptive when you're updating the item and description. Under item, I'd probably add a material supplier code, and in the description, I suggest adding the supplier name, and for the fabric, the fiber content and fabric type. Add any additional trim information as needed and save the section. This next part is something I really love, and that's the cost sheet. This isn't something that's always included in the tech pack, and it's often something that you have to wait to get from the manufacturer. Granted, this cost sheet doesn't include labor, freight, taxes, additional tariffs, but it'll give you an idea of the cost of materials to make the garment, which is usually where the majority of the cost of the garment lies. The placement guide is similar to my design details pages in my current tech pack template. Here, you have a front and back view, and the red dots give you the opportunity to highlight important design or construction details you don't want the manufacturer to forget. The last section is color information. This is where you'll specify the color of your garment. It will automatically add your main fabric and match that back to the Pantone color. The great thing about this is that it's matching back to the textile Pantone color system, but it's also matching the color on screen. So As always, check that the Pantone it's auto-populating is truly what you want. Also, you'll need to add any other components that are missing, like zippers, cord locks, lining fabrics. The color of all of these components also have to be specified. Go through and finish making your updates wherever you need to, and then once you've saved all sections, scroll to the bottom and download your PDF of the finished tech pack. So, lots to say here. Let me start with all the things I like because there's a lot I like. First, I like the price. Currently, you can get started for just $28 a month or upgrade to the Pro plan for an extra $10 a month. And if you do a lot of tech packs, I don't think that's a high price to pay for this tool. Very freelance designer, indie fashion designer, fashion entrepreneur friendly pricing. Second, I like that you can generate a tech pack that's more than 50% complete in minutes. Yes, there are things you still need to update and tweak, but it's pretty accurate and gives you a really great start. Third, for those of you who haven't mastered flat sketching yet, their tool to create flat sketches from photos is very good. I actually tested this on a few styles and I was pretty impressed with the level of accuracy and detail in the sketches. I'm also happy that I can upload my own sketches, although there's a small caveat to that, which I'll talk about with my challenges. Fourth, I'm very impressed with the accuracy of the specs. Although there were a couple of things that were off, they weren't that far off. Specs are often a pain point for designers, so I was really happy to see how accurate this tool is. And along with the sample specs, I love the measurement table. Now, grading isn't something you need to worry about until production, so for those of you doing this strictly for sampling purposes, this may not be something you have to worry about just yet, but it's really nice to know that it's there. Okay, so challenges. And I do want to stress that I'm purposely using the word challenges because I don't think any of these are necessarily deal breakers, but they are things you may want to consider before using the tool. I mentioned a caveat to using your own sketches. So one of the biggest pain points for designers are the specs, and I was excited about how accurate this tool is. However, the last time I tried this with my own sketch, the specs were not very accurate. They were all over the place. Now, in defense of this, I did try it previously and they were very accurate. So I know the developers are always making updates, so it could be a temporary blip. But if you are using your own sketches, you just want to make sure you really check the specs for accuracy. Another challenge is that these tech packs can only be saved locally, meaning a working file can't be saved in your account. So it's kind of like a one and done situation. And for many of us, that one tech pack is not the final version. There's often updates and revisions. Tech packs are kind of working documents. And so to not have the ability to return back to it can be a bit of a hassle. You can manually update by opening the PDF in Illustrator, but it's not very efficient. While I love the measurement callouts, I normally don't do that for basic measurements. Anything that's a standard measurement just goes onto the spec. And since it's industry standard, you don't really have to explain or show what neck opening or body length from high point shoulder or chest width is. What I do use a measurement callouts page for are design measurements, anything that's not standard. Now, could I add these as well? Of course. However, after a while, that sketch starts to look really crowded, and it sort of defeats the purpose of creating those callouts in the first place, which is to make it easy for the pattern maker to understand the POMs. When there's too many lines and callouts, it's hard to follow and it just becomes a mess. So not being able to manually just add in my own POMs would probably be my next challenge. In the measurement section, there's only alpha sizing, small, medium, large, etc., no numeric sizing. So for those of you who are wovens designers and not using alpha sizing, the size chart might be an issue. I guess you can probably still make use of the grading it creates, but you need to manually update the sizes that are listed. The way the tech pack generates, it really only leaves room for one colorway. If you look at the colorway and color information pages, it's really only set up to specify material colors for one colorway. So if you're carrying this style in multiple colors, you may have to manually add additional pages for those. There's also no place to add additional sketches. Sometimes I need a side view or I may have additional detail sketches, but currently you're limited to front and back. The last thing, and I'm guessing this is probably a glitch, but as much as I love having the costing sheet, unless the fiber content is one fiber, like 100% cotton or 100% polyester, it kind of breaks it up and puts them on two different lines. So that cost sheet, if you have like 95.5 cotton spandex or some other kind of blend, the costing sheet is no longer accurate. So, given all my wins and challenges for this software, do I recommend using it? I do. I think it can be a really great starting point for designers creating tech packs, particularly if you don't already have a system in place. And as I said in the beginning of the video, it doesn't magically do your entire tech pack as you've seen, but it can give you a really great start, especially on the specs. And remember, as with most AI tools, this is going to improve weekly, even daily. And many of my challenges might be addressed by the time some of you even watch the video. So I invite you to give it a go. For those of you who want to try it, the link to the tool is in the description. And let me know what you think. Drop me a note in the comments. Let me know if you would use a tool like this, if you're planning to try it, or if you're like, yeah, I'm good, and then tell me why. Thanks for watching today's video. If you are interested in trying AI TechPacks, make sure you check out the link in the description. If you're new to digital fashion design tools or need to understand a bit more about creating tech packs, check out my digital fashion design online courses, also linked in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time.